Welcome to Home Means, where the heart of Nevada comes alive. I'm your host, Heather Brown, and this is a place where we uncover the real stories behind the people who make our state extraordinary. From unforgettable adventures to everyday moments that shape us, this podcast is all about the voices, the faces, and the experiences that make Nevada truly unique. Let's dive in and get to the heart of what home means. Welcome to another episode of Home Means. Today I'm excited to welcome Vince Saavedra, Executive Director of the Southern Nevada Building Trades.
Thank you, Miss Heather. I thought it was called homies, like we're homies, not home means. Otherwise, I would have never came on.
Well, we're homies in the Home Means state.
Yes.
You see how that is?
Right. I like that.
I really want to kind of start from the beginning. You came here fresh out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, what about this city made you decide to, one, build your life here? And was there a moment when, it maybe felt less temporary? It felt like more like this was where you're going to build your career?
Yeah, so I moved here right out of high school. So graduated in 2000 and moved here. And I didn't want to live my life here, but the work that was happening, I started my career at the convention center as an iron worker. And so there was enough steady work for me not to have to leave back then. And so I eventually just fell in love with the people and the state, you know. I didn't fall in love with the state as a whole until I got much older to understand. Because when you're young, you don't care. You just, this is just Vegas. All you see is Vegas. But the older I got and the more money I made, I was able to travel in the state and look around and stuff. So that's when I had a deeper appreciation. And then obviously now politically, understanding the workings of the state and how it all comes together, I appreciate it and love it a lot more,
So I really like that your foundation was literally building the bedrock of the convention center. Mm-hmm. It represents expansion and growth. And now you've transitioned into building an opportunity to influence policies. And I think that's a really interesting juxtaposition because we need the physical buildings to have the conventions, to bring in the money, to have the policies. I'm just curious, with physically building this state and now metaphorically building this state, how can other apprentices kind of look at your trajectory and see why they should be more politically involved or, why they should care more than just showing up to a job site?
I think because now more than ever, not saying in the past there wasn't union leaders who put a light on how policy reflects construction. But honestly, I try to do a good job with that. Like I try to. Nobody wants to be talked to. Nobody wants to be talked at, right? So when I talk to our members, I try to explain to them the importance. Instead of saying, like, you have to do this or you have to do that, I try to have them understand, like, you can vote for whoever you want, but here's the friends that support our goals and missions, and here's the people that don't. You could still make your choices, right? And whether it's Republican, Democrat, or anything else, I try not to push that so much on the membership because then in today's political climate, those are trigger words that people just turn off, right? So that's I use real life experiences like in the moment to explain to them why. Like you could take any piece of like the A's, for instance, and when we're trying to explain to our members why we endorse certain candidates that they don't like or they don't agree with, it's easy to point at and say, like, you're working on this project because of this candidate, right? Or this elected official or incumbent or whatever. And so that's the important piece. So putting it in real time and not like, oh, like the Hoover Dam, you gotta like, no. Like today's youth specifically cares about what's happening now and how it impacts them this moment, right? We live in the time of now. So pointing at the past, it's good to like show track records, but it's really important to show like what's happening today, right now, and that's how I utilize it as a tool and to get them more involved, because when they're seeing it and living it and they're literally cashing their paycheck for like a piece of legislation that was passed, it makes it a lot easier, for them to understand.
Yeah, and it's not this far off Carson City land. There's an actual tie to their day to day, and it's the same thing. when you go to Washington, D.C., you get to actually see what your members of Congress and senators are doing, and that puts a real connection other than just the TV commercials you see here at
Correct.
home. And it's kind of the same thing, but it's nice that it's you can make that connection with their day-to-day and their paycheck.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of your members are legacy, so their parents were in the trades? I know your parents were in the trades.
Yeah, my dad was. I think the numbers are declining. I think a lot of tradespeople want better for their children. Not saying that this isn't a good life by any means, nothing like that. But I think instead of saying like, hey, son or daughter, I want you to put on the tool belt and go out there, it's more like, be a project manager, a project engineer. So still involved in the industry, but not on the tools as much. But there's still a lot, and honestly, not trying to segue or set up or throw you off your questions, but that's why I try to put in the community benefits, right? To benefit the community, because there is no workforce shortage by any means, and there's always a pool of people we could pull from. But with my community benefits and the way that I have presented them to the different municipalities in Southern Nevada, what I'm really trying to do is create a pathway into apprenticeship that most people from underserved communities have never fucking had an opportunity to join. Mm-hmm. So we get one of the biggest things when I came into this role was access to apprenticeships. Well, first of all, it's important for people to know this is not like a university in the sense of like you just go down and sign up and then you learn and then it's like, yeah, I'm a journeyman now. Like, no, like the market share that the unions have dictates the demand for apprenticeship. So the more union market share we have, the more we could pull into the apprenticeships. And so a lot of people don't realize that. Like, we're not going to go out into the community and say, here, come sign up at our hall. We'll take your $100 entry fee or whatever it is, and then we'll call you when we need you, right? I don't want that. What I'm trying to do is basically say any capital improvements plan over a certain threshold should require, these hiring provisions from folks from these communities, whatever the community is, whether it's a veteran community, kids aging out of foster care, people from reentry programs, or how about a workforce development program that's funded by the city, county, or state? If we're already paying for that and we have projects that the taxpayers are paying for, we should be able to just plug and play those folks from these workforce development places. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and if they keep you in the loop, you can make sure that supply and demand can be met, and that people are regularly employed, and plus then we're just building in our own communities in our backyard with our own people.
The community is building the community.
Yeah.
Right? And we're helping people get out of poverty. We're, like I said, creating generational wealth by giving them a pathway into our apprenticeships.
Yeah, so I'm with the Nevada System of Higher Education, and CSN has 11% of its students are actually in the apprenticeships, mm-hmm. and I think that's a really good example of where the local community college is stepping up in the ways to help build the industries, and just try and be a lifeline to give people another avenue point in.
Yeah, 100%. We have been working really closely with them to try to create new, our own policies, because we're obviously accredited by the state. Like you said, we make up 11% of CSN's body. It's crazy, you know what I mean? And we're self-funded. And so what I really wanted to see was when an apprentice graduates from the apprenticeship school, that they graduate with a degree. I think there's a couple classes they could take and then they graduate. But what I would like to see is basically when they finish the school, that should be part of the apprenticeship curriculum. You know what I mean? Is to take those language arts or whatever they're missing for their to
get an associate's.
To get their associate's degree, yes.
And that is something that nobody can ever take away from you.
100%.
And I'm not going to speak on behalf of CSM, but just talking with Dr. Klippenstein and their amazing staff there, I know that if it was just as easy as offering another semester and figuring it out, I know they'd work with you guys. So
yeah, all that's in our negotiations with them. We do it. I think it's every 5 years or something. So we just completed it. Thank God it didn't get messy or anything. I think both sides were pretty just open, and it was good. No, they have been a good partner. You know what I mean? I think it was a little rocky, and with obviously they've had some turnover. Building trades had not as much, but we were able to talk it out, and it worked out good. But they've been a pretty fair partner for the most part.
And I think that's really special that you're focused on that because, like you said, just taking a couple more classes, then you're given a piece of paper that nobody can ever take from you.
Yeah.
That is something that you have, put it on your wall, and build on it in future careers.
Well, and to that point, right, in the construction industry now, if you want those office positions in construction management, not just like a superintendent or a foreman, but like I said, a project manager, even some safety directors, you got to have some sort of degree. They want to see paper, So if you can't, the days, not saying that they don't exist because they do, but like from just going from the field into the office, they're kind of thinning out. Because there's a lot of construction corporations now that want that. Not taken away. I'm not, like I said, obviously college isn't for everybody. I think we've talked about that, but most of us get into the construction industry because college isn't for us. So getting that piece of paper is hard. And then how are we supposed to advance to the next level if, they want the book experience more than the real field experience, which is okay. I get it. I mean, look, they're multi-billion-dollar corporations for a reason. They have something figured out correctly. You know what I mean? But we just got to stop letting our egos get in front of us and go get those degrees if we want those jobs.
Yeah. I mean, with that, you now represent 19 different construction unions across Southern Nevada. And, you're sitting down at a table, you're representing all those members. What does that feel like? And, do you think about, obviously you're going to think about the families that are behind that. What is your motivation when you're sitting down?
It is the families, because it goes deeper than just the thought, right? Like, I literally still hang out with construction workers. I never want to forget where I come from, so I stay there. Right. And so that's one of the things I'm super passionate about it. People say, oh, Vince is aggressive. Vince is this. Vince is that. I don't give a fuck what any of them say because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. What matters is those people that I still hang out with that I am representing. And that keeps the fire burning. That keeps me passionate to remind me when I'm at those tables who I'm really fighting for. And I hear what they talk about and I hear their struggles and I hear, what they need and what they're going through. And that's what I carry with me, whether it's Carson City, whether it's in any elected official's office, is it all stems from like work. Work is everything to these folks. Work is everything. Like without a job, they have nothing. Then, I talk about this a lot. Then it goes to the mental health piece, right? Then they start looking for a way out. They start having self-doubt. Not every construction worker. This is not a blanketed statement. This is more what I see, and their job is their livelihood, just like everyone, right? Yeah. I'm not discounting one side for the other or anything else, but that's what I carry with me is when I get invited to one of the members' kids' birthdays or a baptism or a wedding, I'm blessed to go to those things. I'm blessed that people still want me around in that side of the world, and they encourage me like, yes, bro, like we're so proud of you. We're happy. Like that's. To have them tell me that they're proud of me means everything to me because it shows that the passion and the fire that's burning is for the right cause of my people. Now, when they think it's time for me to go, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to serve and fight for y'all for the time that I was able to. But that's what I carry with me, and it's always remembering where I come from, and like I said, staying there.
I really like that because I think that's the criticism of a lot of elected officials or leaders is that once you quote unquote get to that, you make it or whatever analogy you want to put there, you lose disconnect with the people that you're supposed to be representing.
100%.
And, for me personally and my leadership life journey, I really want to make sure that I don't do that. And so I really appreciate hearing that from you that this is still this is your bedrock. This is your foundation. This is something that you're not willing to compromise on.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
No, for sure it is. And thank you for saying that about yourself because I believe that's true, right? I've known you for a while. And so I've always appreciated that you do ask us questions because, and not just, you don't tell us what's good for us. You say, hey, what do you all think of this? Or, so I've always appreciated that of you. But that, I've had this conversation with a couple elected officials where they tell me, and nothing in particular, right? Not talking about any legislators or city council, county, like no one in particular. I've said this to people from school board and stuff. If you're an elected official and you're seeking endorsement from the Southern Nevada Building Trades, and you come to me and you say, I believe in the community, I'm going to fight for the community, I oftentimes ask them, like, if I go to the gas station that's by your house, the closest gas station to your home, do they know your name? If I can go into the closest grocery store and I walk in with you, are the cashiers going to wave hello? Are the bag boys or girls going to say, hey, how you doing? Or hey, what's up? Like, if the answer is no, you're not a member of the community. That means you're not in the community. That means you're giving me lip service that I don't want. Like, if you're going to be, and if you're going to be out there telling people that you're a member to the community and you care about the community, you serve the community, the fucking community should know your name. Not just the political community, right? The people that you pay for gas should know your name. Those are the people that you should be asking. So not just me, and not saying that I have the answer to everything, but I have those conversations with the people at the 7-Eleven by my house, or at the Sonic, or Albertsons, or wherever. They know me, and I'm not running for public office by any means. But you go there enough, you know why? Because I live in that community. I'm a member of that community. So if you're an elected official and you're saying, hey, I'm all about the community, and they don't know your name at the liquor store, you're not. I hate to be the one to break it to you, you're not a member of the community.
That is actually a really interesting point because, one, there's the election year behavior versus the non-election year behavior. And I know you go to a lot more events in an election year, but really your behavior should be the same regardless. But we spend so much time with the same people that it does you can lose that disconnect to, well, everybody knows, I'm here. Well, you're here with the same people. So I think that is a really good reminder that your community is your local gas station. It is the grocery store clerk. It is, it is the things that you do day to day, the restaurant that you pick up your
the working class people that keep society going. That's what it is, Heather. It's 100%. People forget. Like, I had this conversation with my barber the other day. I'm going bald, whatever. I still go to my barber just because it makes me feel good. But I had this conversation with him the other day when I was talking about community, and I told him, I don't think you understand the role that a barbershop plays in a community. I said, you have been a part of, because he's going to retire. So I was like, damn, that's how I know I'm getting old. And he tells me, he's like, I said, I don't think you understand the role that you play in the community or in people's lives in the community. Like, bro, I've seen you before every major event of my life. A wedding, my kids' birthdays, the same thing, the baptism, quinceañeras, whatever, church, holidays, graduations. I come see you before I go do that. And we talk about those things. First day of school. Like, all of these things, bro, you are a part of, and putting it, giving him that context so that he was like, holy shit. I was like, yes, bro, a barbershop is a big part of the community because you play a role in everyone's life. We see you funerals, for the good times and the bad, brother. We come see you, and you've been there for me more times than I could count, of like just giving me an ear to listen to. It's amazing. So all of those things, that is the community. The community is so much. It is the people who make the time fly. You know what I mean? That like not time fly. Like that make that give us everything, right? Like
it makes it purposeful.
Makes our lives comfortable that we forget.
Yeah.
I love all working class. I love all working class people. Right? Yes, obviously the union is near and dear to my heart, but even the kids that work the drive-thrus, like, God, man, like they ask them questions, talk to the community, it's okay. And even if they have a bad attitude, who cares? Fuck it, don't take it personal. Yeah, I didn't make you mad. It's all good, It's all good. But I think, getting out there and talking to the everyday people, you'll be surprised how open people really are. It's that layer. It's breaking that first layer. Once you break that crust, people are so nice. And like I said, you go to the gas station, like, oh, what's wrong with them? That's that new kind of service. They're all angry. Like, no, be like, hey, what up, man? You keep it pushing. Persistence will beat resistance 9 times out of 10 in the community. I'm telling you right now. People will start to open up, and it feels good. It feels really good. I love, like, so I said, like, I love going around my house. I'll go to the store, and people are like, what up? They might not know my name. They know my face,
Sure.
What up?
interesting.
You know, it's a good time.
Well, and it's, as an individual, you have to be curious about other people's lives, not just, when there's problems, but
It's my ADD.
what
Makes me curious.
Yeah. I know. I always tell people, I was like, I just want to ask questions, mostly because my brain won't stop spinning until I get the answer. But it also makes me, and what you're saying, like it makes somebody who is curious and somebody asking questions, it makes you more personable. It makes you a part of the community. And I think, to your point, we used to, I saw this, it was probably on Instagram or something. It was a video, and it was saying that all of these things that our community used to do for us, groceries, driving you to the airport, we've now outsourced that to companies to do these things. And so it is important that you as an individual be mindful of that. I understand that not everybody's going to change their patterns, but at least be curious and go out of your way when you do interact with someone to have that like personal touch.
Yeah.
Because it is true, right? We've outsourced so much, so we have to be cognizant of that.
Do you think that, and I know this is your podcast, but I'm gonna start asking the questions. No. Home means, so it's called home means, right? So like let's talk about that personal touch. Do you feel that Vegas is kind of losing its luster with the personal touch, and that it's becoming just like I don't know what word to use, almost like a meal of just, tourism is our number one driver, but I feel like that personal touch of Vegas is like magic is almost kind of fading away. Do you feel that, or am I just?
No, I think you're right, and I think even our casinos are seeing it, which is why we're seeing a little bit of a pendulum in the way they're rolling back some of these fees that they were throwing out. But you and I grew up here, and I don't mean as kids, I mean as adults, where if you needed to have them hold your car up front in the valet, you could give $50 and be like, I'm going to be out in an hour. And they'd hold it right up front. That is not the case anymore. You are paying them $50 just for the courtesy of a valet.
And you go to the machine to pay.
And you have to go to the machine to pay. Yes. And so then it's like, do I want to add a tip to the machine?
Weird.
No, I want to hand it to the guy.
Yeah.
Or the girl. I want to hand it to the person. And it is yes, it is those little touches that made Vegas this, not that you needed money to survive here, because valet was free, but it was just awesome to be able to valet, say hi to someone, come back, give them $5, and then move on. And those were good paying jobs because, people were tipping.
Yeah.
And I know that's just one example, but like even, driving down the road, people have more road rage now than ever. And I don't know if it's just because we're all in a hurry to get someplace.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about, the fact that somebody, and I try, and this is like a new thing for me. It's, if that guy cuts me off, maybe he has to pee.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying not to take it serious or be offended by it. I didn't do anything. Maybe his kid, he forgot to go pick up his kid.
Yeah.
You
never know.
I'm just trying to, and I'm not giving people excuses or, I don't let it bother me. And I'm just like, oh, yep, he's got an emergency he's got to go to, or.
Yeah, you never know. That's one thing I've learned. I talked to this old timer. I have a lot of mentors. I have a shit ton of mentors. I think it's the apprentice, the way you're brought up as an apprentice, you always have a journeyman to teach you. So once you reach a certain level, I started seeking. It wasn't like, hey, this is your journeyman today, just do whatever he tells you. I start to try to find people that are successful and things. And this older gentleman, very successful in New Jersey, he tells me all the time, like, the world would be a better place if everyone minded their own fucking business and drove the speed limit. And I was like, holy shit, dude, that's pretty cool, because he's not wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you really put that in perspective. If everyone minded their own business and just drove the speed limit, the world would be a better place. Just two things.
Yeah.
And just because they're simple things doesn't make it easy.
Yeah. Well, we know that humans aren't easy; they're complex.
Yeah, I love them though. We need them.
Well, I mean, that's honestly why I started this podcast, is because I do think that we need to start telling our story better. If it is that like personal touch that we feel like we're losing, because we are a town of 2.4 million people. And, I do think that there's still this small town feel to it in certain
It
ways.
is for sure.
But we're also in other ways, we're disconnected. My family's in North Carolina. They know everyone in their town, at least,
Yeah.
in their sphere, right? But they've got 5,000 people in their town.
Yeah.
We've got 2.4 million. And I do want to just tell our story better and have people understand, what makes our state so special, because it is special.
It's the working class. I'm telling you right now. Working class is not just construction.
Yeah.
It's the higher ed. It's teachers. It's babysitters. It's people that work, right? And that's not to say like we're having like some pyramid of like superiority here. That's not what I'm saying. But I think that people forget and take for granted the working class. People forget that like how important it is to have a job, right? These are all things that make our community great. They all tie in together. Heather, it's crazy when you really the 3,000 foot view of things. And like you said, the valet guy used to be the guy, or valet guy or girl, whatever. Like that was the person.
That was the position
that
that
you would
people-
go there. That was the first face you seen before you walked into a casino. So they had all the information, where everything was. Where do you get the good drugs? Where's the good restaurants? Where's everything? Right? Like, I mean, we all seen the movie Casino. I didn't live here in that time, but like, right? Like, and I'm not saying that's great. Vince is promoting drug use. Fuck, whatever. People say whatever they want, but it's like, the reality is like, you start to lose your luster of that personal touch of things, where it is the working class who would provide the information. And like I said, now you have you pay a machine. They have these virtual bartending machines. I don't even represent the bartenders, but I'm like, I still don't fucking go use that thing.
Yeah.
I don't do self checkout. Like sometimes they don't even give you a fucking choice, because you lose that personal touch, even within our own communities. It starts to get a little annoying, but that's on us too, right? Like it's on us to make those decisions to not use self checkout. It's go have a conversation. It all kind of ties into one big happy community is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and if the community isn't prioritizing that, what we're saying to big corporations are, we're fine with this. We're fine with putting in, somebody losing their job and me having to put in more effort. And it's like micro decisions that we're making constantly, but they all add up. And big corporation is saying, oh, here's the pain points that they'll put up with, and then they exploit it. And this is why I think it's important we have conversations, because somebody might not realize, I don't want to talk, or it's not even that. It's, I'm fine with going to self-checkout because it's just faster. Well, corporations are like, yeah, but you're doing the work. I don't have to pay someone. They know that you'll put up with it. And so that gives them a reason to lay people off.
Yeah. And I think, again, sometimes, like you said, the pendulum is swinging, right? Because I think, we went too fucking far. We got to bring it back down, which is, I mean, that's just life, We're not going to solve the world's problems in a 40-minute podcast, but I think it's good. I think I can't wait for Vegas to kind of come back a little bit more, I'm excited. I'm excited for working people. Like, we need economical growth here. That's the big thing. We can't just solely depend on tourism anymore.
No. But I do think it's not tourism, but it is hospitality forward.
Yeah.
We have to be hospitality forward. That is what made us so special. I would tell people constantly that I thought we had the friendliest cashiers, the friendliest bank tellers, because it is in our DNA to be hospitality forward.
Yes.
And
I like that.
I have noticed, maybe it's post-pandemic where people took a little break from people and they want to come back. I don't know. But I have noticed that it is a little bit different.
And I think that's, again, like I said earlier, instead of I used to have a habit of pointing it out and being like, what's their fucking problem? Now I'm like, man, I hope they have a great day. I hope their day gets better. Because it's asking myself, what could I do? Instead of pointing out how fucked up the world is and everything around it, what could I do to help it be a better place,
Well, and I want to talk a little bit more about just labor unions in general.
Yeah.
I think there's so many things that people misunderstand about labor unions. And I would love, for you to just help our audience kind of, what is it that you want people to know about trades and joining a union?
So the trades unions, I guess I'll start a little bit back. So you have public sector unions and private sector unions. Public sector unions are unions like teachers, firefighters, police officers, county workers, state. Those are public unions, okay? So they're on this side, right? Then you have on this side, you have private unions, like the culinary, the building trades, right? Like some nurses and things like that, right? And so you break that in half, the public unions, you have the building trades that we build, and you have the service trades that serve. So for the building trade standpoint of things, which is obviously the ones I represent, if like they want to get in, is that what you're asking, or like what?
Well, because everybody says, well, unions pay. It's so much more expensive to hire unions. That's something I hear from construction people.
Yeah.
And I often tell them, yeah, but they're livable wages. They're making sure that their people are paid consistently. They're finding jobs. They're protecting them. There's mental health services.
Yeah.
And I kind of talk about the holistic approach to what a union offers somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious.
So yeah, to that point. Sorry to cut you off. So that's right on the spot, right? You get what you pay for, right? And so we offer a skilled and trained, qualified workforce. So yeah, it might cost a little bit more. Not in the public sector realm of the world, because people think, oh, if you hire a union, it's going to cost more. Like, not if it's prevailing wage. Like, if it's a prevailing wage project, it does not cost more, right? We've ran case studies and we've done all kinds of stuff to show, right? It actually costs more when you hire a unskilled and untrained workforce, because you have to go back in there and fix everything, right? You could hire cheap and pay for it twice, or pay a skilled and trained workforce and pay for it once, right? And so when it comes to prevailing wage, it doesn't cost more. Now a private job, like if whatever, but that's why casinos hire unions to build and construct, because they know the quality is there. They know that we're skilled and efficient, so we're opening on time or early, right? Less accidents. When there's less workforce on the job because you have a skilled and trained workforce, it doesn't take. I remember I went once and I seen this non-union company, and they had like 40 people, and people were like, yeah, that's great. They're employing a lot of people. Like, yeah, that's great. But we could do that with 20 people, and you lower the risk of injury and everything else. And yes, we might be a little bit more on the private side, but we have less people we're paying for. So is it really less money? Like, the total price is the total price, but it's difficult. But obviously, like I said, we have the state registered apprenticeship. All the classifications. We're always up on technology. I mean, you've toured apprenticeship schools.
I have.
These things are like university, like small universities. They're like legit classrooms and stuff. So it smokes. And like, especially for students and kids, you don't need to join. You don't need to pay for a trade school. Union apprenticeships are free. So if you're going to a welding school, I want you to know you're probably getting got. You should probably stop going there and just
pick up the phone, call
Pick
Vince.
up the phone. Yeah.
People drive past the cranes and construction sites all the time, and I think I heard you talk about right now the guitar is being built, and it's being built actually quite fast. You could see it, but I think you said every day that. How did you word it? Each day is closer to the job being done, which means that they're the
one
workers
day closer to getting laid off.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So, what do you want people to know about the men and women behind the cranes and construction sites?
If they don't have somewhere to go after they're done, we don't get to go inside and make the beds and serve the people, right? That's the culinary union,
right?
And they have the permanent jobs. We don't get to do that, and so just when people are creating policy and doing things, keep them in mind, because we don't always have a job to go to after. And a lot of men and women got to leave their homes to go seek work in other states when times are slow or times are tough, or we're not building, or, like I said, trying to grow the economy. Keep that in mind, that it's hard. And it's hard on the construction workers' mental health. That I was on the phone before I got here with somebody, and they were like, man, we can't believe you talk so openly about your mental health. And I was like, well, if I don't do it, I'm not helping
Mm-hmm.
other people, not just myself. I'm not helping other people. And the 40-hour work week that's associated with mental health, whether it's a good work environment or bad work environment, that's, that's the job. But the peace of mind to know that you have a job tomorrow when you're in the construction is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because when the job comes to like the last month, layoffs are coming, you start to stress out. Did I save enough? Are we going to be okay? Like, am I going to have to leave and then we're going to have to pay a babysitter? Like, you start to try to factor in all these costs of the travel, the hotel, all of these things you have to try to factor in. So the stress just starts to compile. So, I mean, I want everyone to know, like, if there's an opportunity to bring work here, we should definitely do it. Like, we have more than enough workforce. There's no workforce shortage. And the more work we have here, the more we could train the youngers to come in and do the thing.
Well, we have a skilled workforce. We know people want to move here. We have a new resident every 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We know that companies are looking at Nevada. I think we should fix our abatements and make them more enticing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll leave that up to the governor's office. But I do think that we do have to take this very serious. If we are going to diversify our economy, we have to understand what that actually means.
Yeah.
More buildings, more companies coming in. Logistics and manufacturing should be the backbone of, Apex.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to require new buildings coming up, and that's going to require more jobs being, commissioned.
100%.
And I do think that, it's funny because, like, I feel like it's like an onion, right? I'm peeling back more of the layers. Well, if we just do X, well, actually, by bringing in a company that will maybe have 300 jobs, that actually is going to create 1,000 jobs because of all the other things that go into getting those permanent jobs there.
Yeah.
And I think our world is so fascinating to me because it really is very symbiotic in how everything has to work together. But there's so many silos, and people maybe aren't very cognizant of why we're trying to bring in this one company. It's not about the permanent jobs down the road or the higher ed institutions that will need to train in those spaces. It's about the construction that's going up, and then the utilities that have to be laid, and then all the other pieces that go into it. And it's just so fascinating to me because I am it seems so simple, but yet so complicated because you have to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah, peeling back the onion. It's a good thing, but it also could be a scary thing when you start to figure out the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You start peeling back those layers. You're like, oh my God, I almost wish I didn't know the truth. It was a lot simpler when I didn't know. And I think sometimes the whole silo situation is done by design to keep folks in power. I don't know what other phrase to use. Maybe influential instead of powerful, but that's like the silo system. I feel was created for a sense of control for people that want to be superior to the everyday folks.
I do hope that we are able to, when people go and they actually vote, and they're voting for the people who see the future of Nevada that they want to represent, and that everybody will be talking. I know you'll be endorsing candidates. There'll be plenty of radio commercials and TV commercials and mailers. But I just hope that the noise can cut through and the good people can actually get elected and we can move our state forward.
Yeah, and it's all about just educating people. Like I said, that's what I've taken upon myself, is to go to job sites and have these conversations, like in person. Because most construction workers don't want to read a fucking mailer as much as people think like mail's the best, or they don't look at the road signs. The general public is like annoyed with a lot of this stuff, right? And so having a union leader go to the job site with a hard hat and boots on and a vest and being like, hey, this is why we're involved in politics. This is why we endorse these candidates. Is there any question? Because not everybody goes to union meetings either. People forget that a lot of parents coach their teams, or their kids have, or they're making dinner, or they're single parents and they don't want to go to the union meeting, or kids aren't allowed at union meetings. So, yeah, we've kind of switched it up, and we're taking it straight to the job site to have these conversations of the good, the bad, and the ugly,
I want to ask you, so you host a podcast, Gangbox. you're obviously very real and unfiltered there. And I'm curious, being on the other side of the microphone, what have you learned about our community that surprised you?
That's a good question. I don't honestly, a lot of the mental health stuff I've been doing and how like I feel like the mental health piece has been the most surprising. On people keep the stigma is crazy, Heather, because people would tell me like, oh, it's hard, people don't want to open up. That is not true. People are begging to open up. We just don't care enough to ask. And you start asking questions, and again, not like, hey brother, how you doing? Oh, good, everything's good. Like, okay. Like, and it's not like, hey, I'm here to talk, and you have like these filling circles at work. It's not even like that. That's been the most surprising, is how open people are to talk about their mental health. And I don't know if it's just me because I've done the work and people know that they could trust me with some of the shit that I've been told, but that's been the most surprising of the community, is not the mental health aspect of the community, because I think we've all known that in a while, but how much people don't know the resources are out there. Union members, construction union members, had no idea that the resources were there for help. Mm-hmm. Like, the mental health piece, a lot of union insurance covers like up to like 10 visits to a therapist for free. They didn't know that. Underutilized. Way underutilized. And it was like less than 1% of our membership were using any of the mental health services. And since we started going out there and talking and doing all this, like the podcast stuff and things, to give the message to people, that was surprising that number shot up. Because it's not, and I tell them, I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional. I can give you information to go talk to a professional. I could help you out with like, all I could do is give you my life lived experience advice. But like, bro, some of you need professional help, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just you are beyond. Our friendship is great, and I am your friend. That's why I'm telling you it's time to go talk to a professional, because I'm tapped out. I can't help you no more.
Yeah.
And that's been the most surprising.
And I do think people tend to lean on their friends pretty heavily, and it's important to have those people.
Yeah.
But to your point, there is a mental health profession for a reason. They're going to say the tough things that maybe your friends won't. Or,
yeah,
or they'll give you the good advice that your friends won't.
Yeah.
And it's not because your friends don't care. It's because they don't have the training behind it.
They're trying, and I don't mean this in a negative way. Most friends don't want their friends to feel bad. And I say this to all of my best friends are the meanest to me. My best friends are the meanest to me. My best friends hurt my feelings more than anyone else could, because I'm so open and vulnerable. But they are my best friends because I know they're always going to tell me the truth. They're always going to tell me the way it is. That's how they earn the badge of best friend, right? Like, right? And then it goes on to brother or sister. Like, I love you like family now because you are able to tell me, hey, you're fucking up over here. You're doing this. You're doing that. Like, and I'm able to course correct instead of having someone keep telling me like, no, you're fine. The world is wrong. And I'm going way off track. Like, no, like they bring me back in. Those are my best friends. Those are my closest allies. Those are my mentors. Those are all the people that are in my life and I'm blessed to have a life outside of politics where a lot of these folks, I think it is their identity, which makes me, I used to be mad. Now I'm just sad. I'm like, God, that sucks for you, man. I hope you figure it out soon, because it's really good on this side. Life is good when you have friends outside the space. Life is. We were talking about that. Like, I haven't talked to you in a while, but I haven't talked to a lot of people in the space in a while. And it's not that I'm avoiding or have ostrich syndrome where I'm sticking my head. Like, I'm living life with people that are not for my own mental health. And so it feels great, man. Look at this smile. You know what I mean? I love life right now.
So when you look at the skyline today, knowing that you've helped build part of it, what do you feel most? Is it pride, responsibility, or is there something else there?
Pride. I think that's every blue collar worker in construction. I make jokes and I always have memes on my social media about like, yeah, look at that. Dad built that right there. Like, it's real. Every blue collar worker likes to point out that they built something when you're driving. It is a sense of pride, especially with your family and friends. Oh, I worked on this, or it's crazy that, first of all, I'll never know what it's like to be a visitor in Nevada. Like that makes me a little sad because I hear people get all excited, like, "Yay, Vegas!" and I'm like, "Yeah, okay." But when your friends come and they're looking at all the lights and all the stuff on the strip, I like to be like, the one time this happened there, or we built this, or I built that. So I'm looking at other things than most people that come here to visit. Even my kids and stuff. It's a prideful thing, kind of like the community benefits thing. Mm-hmm. The community will have so much more pride in its community when they actually build it. I know because I lived experience.
Yeah, and I think that would be pretty cool to say, like, oh, I had lunch hanging out the window of that building, mm-hmm. or, just everyday things, but in auspicious places that people won't ever be able to experience unless you were there.
A little, like, vulnerable moment, because I've never shared this out loud. It's always been in my head. It was amazing to know, because I was an iron worker, so we were always as high as you can go. We were always the first ones to go high, other than the crane operator. But even then, the iron worker set the crane. And I remember always thinking, like, I'm the first person to see this view. I am the first one to see this view. Nobody else, other people might see it that stay in this hotel or that buy this condo, but these eyes are the first ones to see from this point of view, this angle, watch the sunrise from here. Because you start before work, the sun's up. So some of the sunrises that I got to see, or even the sunsets in the late nights, nobody in the world will ever be able to get to see those but me and the crew, right? Those are like weird little small things that I've actually, honestly, that I miss the most working in the field. But that is a prideful thing too. Like you get to see that. Nobody else gets to see that. And then they build a wall or something, or they build, and it's gone forever.
Yeah.
But looking at a thing, the skyline, when you're building the skyline, the mountains, the sunset, the sun, all of it, or different strip points of views. When you're in the industry, and I know I'm not the only one because I've had that conversation with the other couple of construction workers, but we are the only ones that get to see certain points of view. It's a really beautiful thing, believe it or not.
No, that is amazing. I have goosebumps thinking about it because I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
But it is so true. And because the wall will go up and you'll never be able to look out that particular angle, and
correct.
It's
a beautiful thing.
I mean, you literally just blew my mind because that is such a special connection that you'll have with those the crew, but also that building, and every other worker that's there will also hopefully internalize that and say, I'm the first, or I'll be the last, or
yes. It's mind-blowing.
That's amazing.
It's a beautiful thing.
Well, you might have already kind of touched on this, but I want to just kind of close this out. And when you think about your journey, apprenticeship, iron worker, labor leader, podcast host, what does home mean? Like, really mean to you?
Home, honestly, home to me is where I have the most loved ones. That's what home is to me. Whether it's, again, the crew, the affiliates, like, where home to me is where I find love and peace. Whether that's my actual home, whether that's a union hall after a big rally or something. Home to me could be anywhere where I find the peace and love that are a reflection of my actions.
I really like that.
Thanks.
I like that it's not a physical place, but it can just be the people around you that make it home.
Home's a feeling inside.
Yeah. Okay, we are going to get into some rapid fire.
All right.
What is your favorite local restaurant?
My favorite local restaurant. That's a good one. Probably Big B's Barbecue. Okay. Yeah, great guy.
What's a must-visit spot for newcomers?
A must-visit spot for newcomers to Nevada. Obviously, I think any free show on the Strip.
Mm-hmm. What is the best outdoor activity?
The best outdoor activity for Vince? I like hiking Lone Mountain. It's so easy and it's nice. Good views there, too.
What's a hidden gem in Southern Nevada?
Ooh. I would probably say, probably our Thai food.
Yeah.
I feel like our Thai food is our food, honestly. Our hidden gem, I think La Thai is a hidden gem to visitors, not to locals, obviously, but I think La Thai is really good.
Do you have a go-to coffee shop?
I I have two. I have one so when I don't want to be found, and one that you want to be seen. But it's usually a bungalow or makers and finders.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite place to unwind?
On my couch in my living room.
Yeah. Best view in the city.
The best view
That's accessible.
Yeah. For me, I think when I worked on the Wynn.
Yeah.
I think when I worked on the Wynn, that was the best view of the city because you were center strip and you got to see everything.
What's your favorite thing to do on a weekend?
My favorite thing to do on a weekend, sit on my couch and play video games.
One must-have experience for visitors.
One must-have experience for visitors. I think seeing a show, like a Cirque show. I think it's important.
And last, most underrated perk of living in Nevada.
Not knowing what it's like to come here and blow a bunch of money. I think kind of like I was saying earlier.
We get to reap the benefits of the people who do through our taxes.
Yeah.
But we don't have to do it ourselves.
We don't have to do it ourselves. Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on the podcast. I really appreciate your candor and your leadership that you're showing for all of the building trades and just in Nevada politics in general.
Thank you. No, thank you, Heather Brown. I've always appreciated you, and thank you for all the work you do in your current elected role.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening and being a part of the Home Means community. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share with a friend, and check out our Nevada-inspired merch at homemeanspodcast.com. We'll be back soon with another story about the people who make Nevada feel like home. In the meantime, thank you for being part of the Home Means community.